Hey Dave, so welcome to Meet the Boss Junior. Today I'm speaking with you, David Richards, the CEO of Carespace. First question, you might know I love cars. What's your favorite car?
Liam, my favorite car that I ever owned was a 1965 Ford Galaxy. And it was a car that I bought for $500 in high school. It was a massively big car, a true gas guzzler. The car that I would say if I were to have again, though, would be, I used to collect VW buses when I lived in Hawaii. And I lost a bus. It actually caught on fire. So if there was one car that I could have again, would be the VW bus that I had in Hawaii that caught on fire. It was a real shame.
Oh, so I want to hear all about your work, but first tell me your story. How did you get to be a CEO?
Okay, so my adventure really began when I was your age, and I wanted to make money, but I was too young to get a real job. And so I decided to start my first company. And at that time I was into video games, maybe like you are. And I had a friend and we came up with this idea of using Mario for our company logo, and we called it Squeegee Brothers. And it wasn't a massive success, I'll be honest, but it was enough for me to buy a skateboard and some other things that I wanted to.
So now I want to hear all about your company. So who are your customers and what is your product?
Great. So my company started with a consulting company that I first started. My background is in tech, and I started a consulting company, and our first customer was Kaiser Permanente. And at Kaiser Permanente, I was able to see healthcare go through digital transformation, which means before there was very little tech in healthcare. And I was able to work at this big healthcare organization and see them go through to become a full digital solution to help their patients. And so while I was there, I got to see a lot of things in healthcare that could be done better. And it inspired me to start this company, this digital health company called Carespace. And I'll show you real quickly what Carespace does. Let me just share my screen real quick. Okay, so hopefully you're seeing my screen now. So this is Carespace, and Carespace is designed to help physical therapists. So if you're a physical therapist, your job is pretty hard. You meet with a lot of people who have a lot of injuries, and they don't have digital tools necessarily to help them, to help their patients beyond the walls of the clinic. And so we've designed a way for physical therapists to catch your range of motion. So the way this works is I can go ahead and get in front of a mobile webcam, and I can show through the camera a specific range of motion. And our software will go ahead and collect. So for example, in this case, this exercise. And if it's not good, if it's a situation where my range of motion might be compromised, it will ask me whether I want to capture it or whether I want to try again. And so we've developed ways to kind of help improve the success of these captures and making sure that physical therapists can get the best results possible. And then we have a range of motion tool as well that allows physical therapists to go in and use rehab tools and other things that will help their patients to get the best results possible and to get back healthy as soon as they can.
So what do you love most about your job?
I love the creativity. I love the innovation. I love trying new things that have never been done before, and being able to work with a lot of really smart people and a lot of people that are looking to have things done better. So I work with people in healthcare, doctors, and And I get to interview patients and get to see both the challenges from the doctor side and from the patient side and how they want things done better. And then I have a team of developers and other people that I work with that go about developing new technology like you've seen here.
So what do you love most about what's the hardest thing about your job?
The hardest thing. There's lots of hard things. I think the hardest thing is just making sure I'm always focused on the most important thing, because any day I wake up and there's 100, sometimes 200, sometimes 300, sometimes it's hard to even count how many things need to be done. But I've got to make sure that I'm prioritizing and focusing on the most important things and that those things get done.
So what's one piece of advice for me as I think about starting my own company?
I would say the most important thing for you right now is to just start, just be brave. You know, sometimes it's easy. I remember when I was your age to get intimidated and think, oh, I need to wait to grow up before I start a company. And the thing that I've realized as I've looked back is that most important lessons I learned were the lessons I learned when I was your age, when I started that window washing company that I mentioned. So my advice to you is to start right now. Just I think you're, like you mentioned, you're really into cars. If I understand right, you want to start a company in the car industry, right?
Yep.
So the first thing you should do is have your dad buy you a car. And so you can start learning more about cars and preparing yourself for your first company. How does that sound?
Amazing. So it looks like that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Best luck for the future.
Thanks, Liam.